Okay, everybody. So I'm here at 38th Street and Elliott Avenue, South Minneapolis, the hood, obviously. I decided that Michael and I should end our wonderful trip to Minneapolis with a trip to George Floyd Square, pay our respects, take it in. And of course, I wanted to share it with you guys because I really just think it's so important that social media is used, not simply for showing off, the new pants we bought or the party that we just went to or the wonderful vacation that we took. I think it's about sharing and inspiring and uplifting and encouraging and educating. So that's always what I've wanted to do with my social media platform. And so today I'm going to take this opportunity to just take a tour of George Floyd Square. Not going to do a lot of talking. I'm going to try not to do a lot of talking because I just want you guys to take it all in without the need for my a commentary or a prolonged narrative. So it's going to be pretty long probably because I want to get a lot of things for you guys to see. It's not like we all get to come to Minneapolis and certainly not a lot of us get to see George Floyd Square, and I think it's important that a lot of us do, regardless to what our beliefs may be in terms of politics or anything else. Humanity is humanity, and I think we, as a human race, we don't really respect our own humanity as much as we'd like to think that we do. So, without any further delay, I'm going to show you George Floyd Square here, basically at the intersection of 38th Street, East 38th Street and Chicago Avenue on the south side of Minneapolis, South Minneapolis, all right? So, it's a two square block section. We're going to start, as I said, on the Elliott Avenue side, where it begins with a fist. Okay, it says, "We still demand." And it has a list of 24 demands. I can't make out everything that it says. I can't read it all. Just want you to kind of get an idea. And please note that the square is technically in the middle of a major intersection here in South Minneapolis. So I'll be dodging cars perhaps and people. But I'm going to try to get as much as possible. There's a lot of mementos people have left and contributed to the memorial. I'm just going to take a walk. You'll see that this area is pretty much covered from fencing to sidewalk with messages of hope, of anger, of mistrust, of exhaustion, certainly of pain. The first thing I noticed about this section of Minneapolis is, of course, it is pretty downtrodden. It's the hood. It's a mural here in an alley with some of our heroes: Angela Davis, Huey P. Newton, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and some others. Here we have modern day hero Colin Kaepernick. So at this point we're heading towards the middle of George Floyd Square, which again is the intersection of East 38th Street and Chicago Avenue. I believe this is the very spot where Mr. Floyd's life was taken. Or perhaps it's across the street, but I'll show you both. Cup Foods, I guess, is infamous. To be honest, I didn't watch the tapes. I watched part of it, but I couldn't stomach it all. Having watched what happened to Eric Garner only a couple of years earlier in Staten Island. But this is a very familiar picture and mural. I've seen it in cities across the country. Again, I'm outside, so if you hear screaming or swearing or music that offends your ears as it does mine, I can't do anything about that. I am in fact in a neighborhood, so I believe this is the spot where George Floyd was murdered. If it's not the spot that I just showed you, then it's pretty much here. Either way, I'm here. And I can feel the presence of so many hurt people. Millions and millions of black, angry, tired people. It's really a massive mural, massive memorial. I haven't seen a memorial this large. And I've seen a lot of memorials, unfortunately, living in Philadelphia, Boston, New York. Seen a lot of walls with flowers in Baltimore and Washington and Houston and Los Angeles and San Francisco and Oakland. Seen a lot of memorials for slain black people, either at the hands of police officers or at the hands of other black people. Again, it is pretty, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Hoping I can fit all of this on my video. Certainly gonna try. What you're seeing is a lot of love and pain at the same time. There's so much more that I gotta show you guys. I'm hoping that I can fit it all. I'm not sure whether you'll see this on Facebook or on Instagram.
Memorial in memory of everyone that lost their life through nonsense, selfishness. I pray this world get better because God made every last one. We all have the same blood. I guarantee you. But me, but you don't be great. Thank God the world is getting better. It is. And I pray and I believe it is. We can't give up on each other. Never. Never.
Sister speaking powerful words, so I don't want to speak over her. This is or was actually a bus shelter, but after the murder of Mr. Floyd, they kind of took over everything around here and just made it a huge memorial.
All these great, beautiful people that came out in honor of the big man we didn't have anymore. I pray it get better. It will. For God is love. And we must love one another. Not tomorrow, today. God is love. We must love
I'm going to take you to the center of George Floyd Square at the intersection of East 38th Street and Chicago Avenue, where this is the centerpiece of this massive memorial. As you can see, it's there are photos of a lot of slain black men and women, from Martin Luther King to Breonna Taylor, to Ahmaud Arbery, Paul Castaway, Philando Castile. So this here is clearly a memorial for African Americans who have lost their lives senselessly to violence. Samir Rice. So as far as you can see, I don't know if you guys can, I'm going to try to enlarge this. You can see there's a fist there. There's a fist there. There's a fist down this street. And the way that we'll be heading out, there's also a fist down there. So it's for each of the four entrances to the square, you'll see fists that indicate that this entire, I'd say, 4-block radius is devoted to the movement. Any thoughts, brother?
Very, very powerful. This is filled with so much history, and this brings me back. I wouldn't even thought of in the 60s, but just the cries for justice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Seeing what I used to see on TV and understanding that we still got a long way to go.
Yep.
But it has to start somewhere.
You'll notice the bus shelters again have been turned into parts of the memorial. When I took the bus here, I was wondering why the bus didn't go straight down Chicago Avenue and made a detour. And that's because this is definitely been turned over to the people. I hate that my people suffer like this. Continuously, cries get ignored. But I also hate that it takes tragedies like this for our people to come together. We seem to have a real issue. This right here is a place where you can donate clothes and receive clothes for free. I wish I had known I'd have brought something. I just feel like I wish that we came together more often, and not just when there's a disaster, not just when there's a tragedy, not just when there's injustice. Because I think we are much stronger than this, more beautiful than this. We we have a hard time embracing ourselves. It's easy for us to embrace other races and the struggles of other races. Stop Asian hate, and we rally behind the atrocities of Asian Americans, even though many Asian Americans, not all, but many, certainly don't respect us. Oh, we rally behind them and everyone else. But how often do we really and truly rally around each other, except for when something like this happens? You've heard it before. I've said it before. I've thought it before. We got to do better. Much better.